Okay, everyone. We're about to dive into this late night jazz unboxing while I have a moment here alone. Look at this. I didn't know this. It shows my backer number and my, I guess, pledge, what I actually pledged. Okay. It's one of the geekiest things I could imagine doing for myself, but let's go ahead and do it. Oh, look at that. It's even backed in such a way so when you pull it out, you see the nice, silky book here. This feels like a classic zine here. Yes, as mentioned. But this is our grand display here. Creating and adapting monsters for use in Shadowdark RPG with Mini-Bestiary by Michael Putlack of Night Noon Games. Thanks, Michael, and full disclosure here. I think I got a special thanks in here, but I didn't do anything other than look at the PDF and provide my feedback before it went live on the Kickstarter, so I don't know if I'm worthy of it, but thank you. This was something that I saw brewing in the Discord server and was psyched at the notion of having a talent bank. This, to me, walks you through a lot of the process that people have had questions for in terms of how to adapt monsters. This is a very mechanical and systematic approach for monster creation, which is awesome. I know a lot of people had their concerns trying to figure out monsters, but what really got me was the talent bank. And since having provided my feedback, that I wonder, no, okay, first of all, the talent bank allows you to look at different abilities here that have been used throughout the monsters of the Shadowdark Bestiary. So anytime you see a monster and they have a special ability, it is here, and they're kind of broken down into talent banks, which are, sort of these passive abilities that they might have, as opposed to ride-along talents, which might be abilities that affect certain attacks or whatever. But I love this sort of stuff where there's multiple entries here, and I was thinking, I should have. Think about it. Why not save space and say grab DC 12 or 15, comma 15, comma 15, comma 18, comma whatever. But then I realized the nuance of each of the entries is important, because you have a DC 12 strength check to break free, or DC 15 strength to break free on turn, or DC 15 strength check to break free, DC 15 strength on turn to break free. So it's very similar, but my point is there's nuance in each of these abilities. All of this to say that this talent bank, I think, is very inspiring in terms of realizing there is no set, like this, poison condition. It can range depending upon any, the book talks about even core Shadowdark mentions the base DC levels as easy, medium, and hard challenge ratings, but to see that even the abilities themselves are varying in terms of their effect, it's inspiring in its own right. It's inspiring to think about different monster creations and what sort of effects and abilities you want them to have. Charge, place of attacks, move up to double meter. In a straight line and make one attack. If hit 2 times damage. Generally, attack in a straight line, make 1 attack. If hit 3 times damage, so these, obviously is a more powerful charge ability. I just love this sort of stuff because, as we'll see as I'm about to turn the magic page, we have a lovely quick stat bookmark here. That was a surprise stretch goal that wasn't a stretch goal. And to me, this is like a cheat sheet of cheat sheets in terms of having just a little base card that has levels and a base, AC hit points. You could run monsters with this just stock, coupled with something like this. You could say, I want to have this random baker, and his pit fighting dog be a level 1 creature with 12 AC, and you know what, this pit fighting dog has a disease that has a DC 9 Constitution or deals 1d4 con damage. And you know what? When they get down to half hit points, of 2 hit points, they're gonna go berserk. Or when they're below 20 hit points or whatever, you could just like pick and choose some of these abilities live, as an improv exercise, or while making your own monsters. And this is what Michael wanted to have as a community resource, and he did pretty well for himself in terms of having a community resource reach hair's length away from a $20,000 Kickstarter for an awesome zine. And I love the physicality of it. I love the condition of the paper. I love the format of having similarly quick statistics. I think it's this thing. Yep, right on the back of the book. And obviously I love to have physical stuff in terms of the other material that he has produced as well. Issue 0, Attack the Light. So it works. Got some funky jazz music going on here. We're having fun with the live stream tonight. So there you go. This is creating and adapting monsters for use in Shadowdark RPG. Nice and academic. I love this. And the Bestiary. We haven't even gone through that. This is the sweet addition. Awesome art, filling in gaps that maybe the core Shadowdark doesn't have. And I believe these abilities get better than one has an advantage on wisdom checks. These aren't from the talent bank, they are original abilities inspired by Night Noon's game's own creativity and filling in some of the higher level monster gaps. Just wanted to show this off. This is inspiring stuff. Love to make my own monsters, and having a bank of abilities, ride-along abilities, and spells you can see here. Oh, the monsters play a different game. They don't use the player spells. Well, there's a reason for that, and seeing it sort of laid out allows you to look behind the screen and see what a lot of these things do comparatively. And you could reskin these things. You could take them and say, this is great, but I want it to do D6 damage instead of D4, but the stink bomb is great. I have DC 12 and DC 12 con check. Yeah, so these are spells that act like special, unique abilities. It's just an awesome thing to have compiled, which obviously you could do by hand or yourself, looking through the Shadowdark core book. Innate talents. Yeah, this is great. I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to feel it. I'm happy to back it. I'm happy to use it. I'm happy to show it off in my late night free moment of playing with my toys. So hopefully you guys are interested and want to see some of these things, maybe take part. We have a Shadowdark actual play going on in person around this very table. Probably see some of these monsters make their way into our adventures as we queue up our season 2 episodes that we've recorded. Well, enjoy. enjoy the late night jazz. Go ahead. Make your monsters.